Hello and welcome to the table, Warhammer and D&D friends. Have a seat, grab your favorite drink, and settle in for a unique, modded, narrative-driven Total War Warhammer Immortal Empires campaign. This campaign, we're going to be focusing on a modded elector count, Eslepth Von Draken, and this is going to be a thematic, special kind of campaign in anticipation and also hopeful celebration of Thrones of Decay. Yes, I know it's a ways away, but several fans of the series have speculated, and also Great Book of Grudges himself has stated that Eslepth Von Draken will be the next legendary lord for the Empire. Now, personally for me, it would be nice to add Boris Todbringer, just because the game devs added him already in the base game, and also, well, looking at the title too, we already have Esleph as a part of Mixu's modded factions too. But I digress. We are going to start this campaign as the Dark Lady of Nuln, Elector Count of Wissenland, and taking a look at her faction effects, we have Winds of Magic Power Reserve capacity at +10, unlocking hero recruitment of the Amethyst Wizard, which are basically the Death Wizards of the Empire. Recruit rank +3 for Amethyst Wizards, so we are going to hopefully try to invest into getting as many of those as possible. And spell resistance 20% for all lords in the faction. This is going to be really useful for us if we go up against Tzeentchian factions, which we most likely will with the Deceivers of the Changeling. Our starting army consists of halberdiers, handgunners, and Hellblaster volley guns. Hellblaster volley guns are also going to be our mainstay killing power as well, with the Lord effects of Esleph herself having an increased ambush success chance of 20% for her specific army, melee attack +5 when fighting against vampire counts, vampire coast, and the Tomb Kings. Now, I have a feeling we're going to find this very useful against both Vlad von Karstein and several other vampire lords added from Mixu's faction unlocker. The ambush success chance, we're going to have to probably play conservatively and try to set up ambushes and also traps for enemies invading our lands too. Taking a look at the map, we do kind of start in the southern part of the Empire, thankfully not in the heart of the Empire, which is where Festus and also the Changeling are going to be located at. Eventually we will have to fight them, but our starting enemy will be the Empire Secessionists. Ironic that it's them, and also we're essentially helping out Reichland against them. A little bit of lore on Esleph too. For 3 generations, the name of Eslepth Von Draken, the Dark Lady of Nuln, Magistrix of the Amethyst Order, and Archwizard of the Lore of Death, has spoken of in hushed tones in the reeking tavern gutterings and vaulted noble halls of Nuln alike. And without further ado, let's get a head start on this campaign. Side note too, we are also having a modded endgame crisis of the Chaos Invasion. It basically brings back the Chaos Invasion from Warhammer 1. Campaign difficulty, we're just setting it on hard, and battle difficulty will just be set as normal. I don't really like it when the AI has melee cheats, and I essentially just want it to be as fair as possible too. Campaign difficulty, I do like it when enemy units or enemy factions recruit more armies, but this is just my personal playstyle. Let me know in the comments your personal playstyle, if you like playing similar to me, or absolutely going mad lad with legendary very hard as well. There's no right, no wrong way to do it, just as long as you yourself, the player, are having fun. As a side note too, for returning viewers, yes, I know some of you are probably wondering about more Baldurs Gate character builds and modded classes. We will be adding more videos of those in the near future too. I just also wanted to include Warhammer campaigns as sort of, not necessarily filler videos, but also the fact that I want to share and showcase my passion for both genres. But let's get started on this campaign and see if we can save Wissenland and also the Empire as a whole. Taking a look at the campaign map, we're thrown immediately into conflict against the Empire Secessionists. With our starting army, we do have two heroes. We have Theodore Bruckner, Judicial Champion of Nuln, which is essentially going to be kind of like our Paladin General-esque Captain hero. We also have a legendary hero of Malachi Mikasen. Sorry if I mispronounced that, friends. But essentially, it's a dwarf legendary hero that's going to help increase the ammunition and also the rate of fire for our ranged forces, which comprise of mostly archers, Free Company militia, which we recruited via the local levy forces, Hellblaster volley guns, and also Wissenland handgunners. We also have some Wissenland spearmen, a couple of spearmen that we recruited from the levy forces, and also some Wissenland swordsmen and halberdiers. I've also taken the opportunity to recruit a legendary Lord Grand Marshal Erkstein, which is going to be our reserve forces that will be getting spearmen and also some more archer units, just for starters too. We do have control of Nuln with a weaving house for income, and my strategy right now is to use Eslepth to attack this general here, wiping him out, also destroying and sacking Wissenberg. And then because Malachi gives us mobility as well, I do want to take out Wissenberg, this general, and Dotenbach, essentially creating a blitz of obliteration of the Empire Secessionists. I want to take care of these forces immediately because we have several more pressing enemies in the area too. It's not shown here, but Karak Norn is also fighting against not just Durthu. It's going to be really difficult because I don't want to get into a war with the Wood Elves. They're also going to be potential allies against any Chaos forces such as the Deceivers and also Festus the Leech Lord. But essentially, we can't stuff around too much with the Secessionists. We have to obliterate them, take them out, take control of these two provinces, get a commandment here, and move our forces down south, because in the south, Karak Norn is fighting against, or will be fighting against, the Blood Order dragons, or the Blood Vampire dragons, which are added from a modded faction. Let's take a quick look and see if Karak Norn is actually at war already with them.
Onward.
Yep, the Ordo Draconis. That's going to be a really pressing matter for us. Ordo Draconis may take a settlement or two from Karak Norn, but we have to rush as fast as possible. I'm hoping in the first turn that we completely blitz these two forces here, take control, and then move as fast as possible to help Karak Norn against Ordo Draconis. This is going to be a difficult negotiation of choosing whether to keep our alliance and also trade agreement with Karak Norn and risk more further wrath from the Wood Elves, or to betray Karak Norn and then give up those settlements to the Wood Elves too. Those we'll probably save for later videos, but without further delay, let's get into the first battle here. Taking a look, it does say decisive victory, low casualties. I am going to quick save here though. And also, we're going to have to really focus fire on taking out their crossbowmen. And also the settlement garrison will be reinforcing them too. We'll be using the Hellblaster volley guns, and we do have range superiority over them. To focus fire on the crossbowmen, I'll be using the Free Company militia as bait, since we can Vanguard deploy with them to draw attention from either the spearmen or their swordsmen, and then also getting the general to separate from the settlement garrison, and thus make it easy to literally divide and conquer. But without further delay, let's get into the battle manually. I do want to save as many of our forces as possible. Of course, no damage to our Hellblaster volley guns, nor to our archers, and hopefully not the Free Company militia, because I have a feeling we're going to need these as, well, essentially more bait later on in the battle. But I'm also going to use Eslepth and also Malachi and Theodore to focus fire and take out their general here to get all the experience too. Alright friends, with the prelude of the battle, we're going to be keeping our swordsmen and halberdiers in reserve, somewhat hidden with this hill crest guarding us. We'll also be having our archers and handgunners at this slope of the field, firing down on the approaching rebels. 2 units of our Wissenland spearmen flanking and protecting, supported with Eslepth and our hero Theodore, with Malachi also providing support to the Wissenland handgunners, specifically with restock and also entrenchment, which will give us armor-piercing missile damage and physical resistance to them too. I'm also going to be utilizing the Hellblaster volley guns to get an initial shot off on their forces to draw them in, focusing on their unit of Johann there. Our reserve spearmen will also be supporting them too, and will be used to essentially bait the enemy, or to essentially just act as a meat shield when they close the distance. I will also plan to retreat the Hellblaster volley guns to this part of the slope of the battlefield too, behind Eslepth and also Theodore, and behind the safety of our other spearmen too. This is also going to be a daring move on my end to keep our Free Company militia hidden in the woods. While the enemy is approaching us, I will send them out to attack their crossbowmen, firing on them at will, and then charging into them too, hopefully sowing confusion and discord in their ranks. But let's get the battle started. Volley guns open fire on their forces there. Alright, they're all clumped together. This should be good for us. We're actually going to... Oh, this is an interesting formation for them. They're sending their crossbowmen up front. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, though. Also need to make sure that the crossbowmen don't close in on the Hellblaster guns. If we don't use our Free Company militia firsthand, then we'll just keep it in reserve when the enemy reinforcements arrive. But we're getting some good initial volleys, already a quarter of the crossbowmen's health gone. Spearmen also taking slightly of a beating too. I do want their forces to get disorganized, so then I can unleash my Free Company militia on their crossbowmen. I'm also willing to do a daring maneuver of sending Theodore in to attack their crossbowmen too, although that would be spreading our forces potentially too thin as well. But let's get a couple more volleys off of them. I don't want to send in my Hellblaster volleys in retreat yet. I do want to maximize as much damage as possible. Spearmen also taking a massive beating, more than half of their health lost too, and also putting them into shaken or wavering for the crossbowmen, and also the spearmen still steady, but for how long? Enemy reinforcements incoming now, and now they'll be moving up their forces. Alright, continue firing on them. Hopefully, we can get them into a full-on retreat. that spearman in near wavering, so it's time to focus in on the swordsmen. They are closing the distance a little bit too fast, though. So just to be safe, I'm going to send my spearmen up front. Hopefully to draw their attention. Send you back here. Reposition all 3 or 4 of you on this flank. The left flank will be our strong flank, which we will use to enclose upon them. Alright. That unit of crossbowmen essentially broken off now. Let's have you charge in. Or actually, let's flounder a bit and then also get you guys to hopefully chase us. Alright, continue to open fire. You 2, you 4, overwhelm their left flank there. Hellblaster volley guns are running a little bit on the slow side. Eslepth, I'll need you to use Spirit Leech on this lord here. Alright, they're completely blind. They're completely separated now. We're going to use overwhelming numbers too. Alright. Time to outmaneuver them. Blaster volleys, let's actually get you a little bit more elevation here. Alright, you 2 charge in. Charge in on that spearman there. Eslepth, I do want you to continue using Spirit Leech on this enemy general here. Spearmen fall back. Theodore, I want you cutting down this general. He's down to half health now. Time to reorganize our front lines too.
Yes, sir, quickly! Quick march! Understood!
Gunners fall back. I shouldn't have put them on guard mode too.
Guns up now! Shields up! Take the ground!
Alright, reserves go in. And then we'll use a collapsing maneuver on them. Oh, our spearmen also taking a little bit of a beating there. This is also late for us to use, but we're going to use our Free Company forces there.
The Empire endures! For the Empire! War of vengeance!
Malachi. Use armor piercing now on our gunners.
Do it! How don't try! What do you bid? Go! At speed!
Alright, increase our leadership there of our swordsmen. Free Company are taking a little bit of a beating. Theodore, I'm going to do a daring move. Have you charge in, cut down those archers there.
Halberdiers!
Alright. Swordsmen and halberdiers advance now.
We obey! Sir!
Overwhelm that general there.
See to it!
Alright, Free Company militia closing in on their forces there. Crossbowmen getting cut down.
Loaded, sir! Kill orcs! Soldiers of the Empire!
Hellblaster volley, focus fire there.
Spearmen!
Spearmen, re-maneuver yourselves so then we can get more of a clear line of sight on those forces. Theodore disrupting the crossbowmen now. Free Company militia holding their own as well. Also finish off the enemy general with another life leech. Alright, we have full superiority over them now. Alright, their general is dead. Leadership is wavering now. Alright, reposition so our gunners can get better lines of sight. And that's a victory for us. Army losses. General is dead. Start cutting them down, friends.
Show us the foe.
Alright, I do want my Free Company militia to cut down their crossbowmen.
Whoa! Now! The Spearmen!
Alright, send those units to harass and cut those down. I don't think our forces will catch up to some of them, though. Let's actually have our Hellblaster guns open fire on those forces there. Particularly the settlement commander. Alright, the blue and gray of the Secessionist flag getting absolutely bombarded and mollywopped here. Let's actually pull our melee forces back. Actually, no, keep charging in. Alright, they're probably going to take a lot of army losses there too with the remaining of their forces. But also, their crossbowmen being completely cut down by our own militia forces and also our hero too. MVP is going to be the Hellblaster volley guns, Malachi as well for some support, and also some underrated heroes of the fight would be our archers there. All in all, very clean, decisive victory, and also a good start to this campaign too. Alright friends, with that victory, we get a standard of discipline, giving us some increased leadership. Not too many losses on our end, a couple of losses from the Free Company militia, but also they were injured to begin with. We got some rewards, experience, most importantly prestige with Imperial authority, and taking a look at our options here, I do want to choose army replenishment. That's going to help us in later key battles too. We'll also get some increased experience and also a level up for Eslepth. Route Marcher will be the first one that we get into, and for later ones, I do want to have Reassuring Presence or also actually Fleeting Shadow just to give us increased ambush success chance. With Theodore, we'll also increase mobility too, and that's going to stack really well with Malachi's increased mobility as well. I'm always the type to go with the blue campaign lines, especially with mobility, as that's probably, in my personal opinion, one of the most important traits of an army in the very early game stages. But also let me know if you all agree or disagree with some of the choices as well. Alright, we'll also take Eslepth to take out Wissenland. It is listed as a decisive victory. And yes, I'm sorry I won't be using an actual manual battle, but we'll just auto-resolve it just because I'm fine with any quote-unquote low losses. Sacking it is incredibly tempting too with the 1500, but also I do need unit replenishment, so I'm very tempted to just loot and occupy for now. We also had very little movement range too, so there was no way we could make an attack on Dotenbach if we were to sack Wissenland. So we're just going to leave our army there as is. Get some replenishment, especially for the Free Company militia. And in the next turn or two, I do want to move up our Grand Marshal and also send Eslepth to take Dotenbach. And then in that way, we get this entire area under our control. Wissenland will be ours. And then we can move on to the Order Draconis, which will themselves be attacking Karak Norn from the south. And depending on how things go relations-wise, not to bring the Great Book of Grudges upon us, but we may potentially need to betray Karak Norn in order to stay friendly with the Wood Elves. I do want to keep the Wood Elves friendly because they're going to be our southwestern buffer against potentially Musalon and also the Blightwing Duchy, which are found here in the heart of Bretonnia. There's also a couple of vampire forces too, like Heinrich Kemlar, and also one of the vampire lords added by the Marienburg campaign mod too. Taking a look of our diplomacy here too. To wrap things up, Reichland is at war with Kazarak's Warherd of the One Eye. I don't want to declare war on Kazarak yet, just because I don't need them bearing down on us while we're wrapping up things in the south.
Now,
Balthazar, I may actually declare war on the Broken Nose and also Black Venom in order to get some extra cash from him.
as a fellow countryman, I trust you will not tax my time overly.
Get a couple thousand there. Increase our relations, and also we get cash out of them. Wolfram of Ostermark.
Agreement will be reached. But are we not all sons of Sigmar?
I may declare war on Draca if you have 1700 or close to 1800. Not very much tempting of an offer. Scaling I could potentially declare war on. I am looking for payments of around 2000. Not high enough to have the wrath of the Norskins bearing down on us. I also really don't want to declare war yet on the Deceivers. The Redhorn tribe is somewhere in the area too, and I don't want to get ambushed either. I know this seems very conservative of how I'm playing compared to my past campaigns, especially with Musalon when I was getting into distant wars too. Marienburg is at war with Kothik, but that is a high elf faction, and I really don't want to bear the wrath of Ulthuan on us either. Boris, you know what? I can declare war on the Black Pit tribe.
Are we not all sons of Sigmar?
Right.
Get nearly 2k out of you there. They're just a minor greenskin faction.
All right.
Ironically, Glorious Revolution of the People, which is actually a modded... It's, well, without diving into too much detail, it essentially brings a Paradox game to Warhammer 3, and I do like the mechanics of most Paradox games. It's the campaign mechanics are way more in-depth than what most Total War mechanics are, but I digress. It'll be a separate campaign we could save for the future of an Uprising in the Empire sort of campaign. Sylvania is also at war with Templehof, which is a modded Vampire Counts faction added by Mixu's Unlocker. We can get a non-aggression pact with them though, so we can start off on good relations there. Carrick Norn is friends with us.
How fares the Empire in
Depending on how things go though, I do want to take care of Ordo Draconis, but also since they're at war with Arguelon, I really don't want to bear the wrath of the Wood Elves upon us yet. Sylvania, technically Vlad is an Elector Count, but also no loyalty to the Empire whatsoever. Durthu is at a negative relation with us because of our past trade agreement and non-aggression with Carrick Norn too. Or actually, it doesn't look like we have any non-aggression pact with Carrick Norn yet. But that is the campaign side of things. We'll wrap up here by choosing technology. I will be investing points into firing drills as Eslepth gives bonuses to artillery and range units. We also have access to the caravan system too. It is a modded caravan system, but also I do like this mechanic as both for role-playing and also for trade too. It basically takes the Cathayan caravan mechanics and adds it to some of the other human factions, adds it to the Southern Realms as well. Certain factions can't use it, unfortunately, but that makes sense roleplay-wise, such as the Greenskins, Dark Elves. I don't believe the Vampire Counts have access to it either. Alright, and looking at this caravan, it is very respectable with 2 units of greatswords, 2 units of halberdiers, 3 units of swordsmen, and also 2 units of crossbowmen, with a caravan master general. I do want to invest in the cargo though, so we'll be giving up 1,000. Sending some potentially, we could send it to Karazakarak. I don't believe we're going to be encountering too much threats though. Doesn't seem like it. It may be a threat here because of not the Black Pit tribe, but also some of the orc forces that we declared war on in order to get money from Balthazar Gelt. We could send our forces there, or we could do a little bit of a conservative move and head over to Alt-1 and establish relations there too. Attain could give us potentially 5,000. I am leaning towards going with Attain. Alright, and then it looks like we'll be setting off from Altdorf over there too. Alright, we're going to go with that. It's only going to take 6 turns too. Send you on the dispatch. And yeah, by doing so, we might be encountering some enemy forces, but because we did not officially declare war on them, they're just going to be very angry with us passing by. We'll wrap up with a few level up points too with Fleeting Shadow. And also, that will end this episode of our new narrative-driven Total War Warhammer Immortal Empires Expanded campaign. In the next episode, we will wipe out the Decessions and also make a move on the Order Draconis, taking them out early and seeing how things go with Carrick Norn and the Wood Elves. For all the returning and new viewers who have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for joining us on this campaign episode. And for those who are interested in D&D, Baldurs Gate, Warhammer, or Elder Scrolls content, I'd love to have you join us on those next adventures, friends. And I'll save you all a seat at the table. Take care and farewell.